Hello. That's right. It's another week, and that means it's time for another Swan Roundup, right, everybody? I think I've been forgetting to introduce myself. So, in case you're watching later and don't know, I'm Carolyn with Swan City Yarns. Thank you all for joining in today. I see some people have already been hopping on, and I appreciate that. Happy Friday, everybody. It's a rainy Friday here in Lexington. Y'all should see how I've rigged up my little setup here. I should take a picture and post it for y'all. So I have to tell you, yesterday Morgan and I drove over 12 hours to get here. And we got here last night, and it was a little after 7, and we went and had dinner and got back to the hotel room to an email from the lovely folks at the Kentucky Sheep and Fiber Festival saying that, with the expected storms Friday night, which fortunately are clearing up, but with those expected storms, if you are out in the pavilion, then you should probably wait until Saturday morning to set up. And that would be us. So that means we have an entire day to goof off. So, we are experts at goofing off, let me tell you. But so anyway, yeah. So fortunately, the weather, it is rainy today and supposed to be some storms tonight, the last time I checked. But the rest of the weekend is supposed to be mighty fine. So we will get in tomorrow morning early and set up. And then if you're coming to the festival, it's my understanding it was supposed to start at 9, but they've decided to set it back an hour, and it'll start at 10 to make sure everybody has time to get set up. So the hours tomorrow are 10 to 5, and then Sunday 10 to 4. So yeah. And guess who flew in this morning bright and early to help us set up? I'll give you a hint. His initials start with the same 2 letters as the words body odor. That's right, Bo. I don't know. Y'all know his name is it's actually his nickname. His real name is Sidney Patrick Edgar. But he got the nickname from his dad, Bo. But it's not, a lot of people think Bo, B-E-A-U, but it's not. It's B-O, Bo. I think y'all know that. Yeah. It seems to me I've seen y'all say Bo. You know how to spell his name. Anyway, so Bo is here to help us. And yeah, we've already been having a good time. This morning we went out, we waited for him to get here. And then we drove across town to get breakfast. Lexington is beautiful. The architecture, the arena where the Wildcats play, hubba, it's like gorgeous. And yeah, the architecture is beautiful. Everything is green. Bo's cab driver told him it's this time of year tends to rain off and on a lot. And so everything's green. It's just beautiful. And of course, we loved the scenery driving up here. It's mountainous and all that. We came up 75. So, Yvette, you always thought it was Bo. Very good. B-O. I thought so. It occurred when I was thinking about it, I think I've never seen y'all misspell it. So you must know how it's spelled. So anyway, hi, Katrin, and Anne is here, and Laura. I have something to show y'all from Laura, by the way. Valera is here. Deb is here. Hello, hello. I'm so glad y'all are here. Up to 76 for Anne today and 82 in Georgia. Oof. Hey, Tish. Deborah Sue is here. That means the Pate Trio is in the house. And Karen is here from Tulsa, recovering. I hope you're doing better today, Karen. And hey, Evie, glad to see you too. Tish, it's 80 degrees in Syracuse. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what the temperature is here, but I do know and I knew I was looking at the forecast between here and Ohio, and I think the highs are like, I don't know, in the 70s somewhere, but I was like, yeah, with it being overcast, I know me, I'm going to be cold. So sure enough, I was a little bit chilly this morning with it raining. So, but that's okay because I have a knitwear item that I'm wearing that I will show you all that I happened to finish this last week. All right. Hey, Lydia, glad to see you. So, Evie, we are in Lexington. We're here for the Kentucky Sheep and Fiber Festival this weekend. Yeah, Lydia, hotter than Hades for sure. I assume you're at home. Bo said he went outside yesterday at home and it was just hot and miserable. He's been napping, by the way. He was up at like, I don't know, 2:30 to get to the airport. 1:30. 1:30, he says. Yeah. Whew. Anyway, so I have a feeling I'll be telling him later, your aura is off. You go take another nap. Anyway, so yes, speaking of FOs, I actually have 2 FOs to show you all today. So the first one, y'all have seen this one now for a couple of weeks. This is the Stockholm Slipover by Petite Knit that I knit in, actually I have the yarns here. I have them in my knitting bag because I didn't actually, I don't know about y'all. I'm very typically organized and stuff with like my knitting notions and all that. But I have noticed lately, like when I finish a project, I have a tendency, my leftover yarn cakes will stay in my project bag for a while. Literally, I still have the 2 cakes in there left over from Bo's Musselburgh hat. And so at the last festival, I just stuck them out on the table, which people enjoyed. They were looking at them, it kind of helped them to see. People like to see how the yarn looks in a skein. And then, of course, obviously knit up. And then even in a cake sometimes, it looks different in the different environments. So Neon Moon, Fluffy Lace. Obviously, my lighting is not great here. You all know that. And Sparklers on Silky Sock. So I combined them. And this is what I have left of my second skein of each of these 2. And I think I told y'all my escapades with the needle size. I went down like 2 needle sizes on this because I didn't want too much positive ease. But as I have since discovered, I can tell that my knitting, my tension on my gauge swatches is definitely looser and more relaxed than what I'm knitting. And this, although it's the length I want it to be, because I knew I'd be wearing it with, either a t-shirt or a shirt underneath it. I'll be honest, I would like a little more ease in it. So I'm going to have to either figure out and keep that in mind when I'm gauge swatching. I do the best that I can in terms of, emulating knitting in the round. And I use the same needles from the gauge swatch to the project then. But I think there's just a difference in, my mindset and everything when I'm actually working on a project versus the gauge swatch. So this obviously is I like it and it fits good. It's good for summer, but I think I would like it a little bit bigger. So I'll just have to remember that next time. Oh, I don't know if y'all can hear that. The AC, I told Bo this morning, you are going to love this AC unit because it literally gives a little buzz right before it kicks on. So a couple times last night, I woke up and was like, whoa, but I went right back to sleep. I guess I was tired enough. So, thank you, Evie. Well, I always say the key, most people obviously I think say that the key to knitting the right size is gauge swatching, but sometimes it works not the way that we intend it to, unfortunately. So I am going to have to do some work on that. Everdina, yes, I saw that you were going to be traveling. So you're sitting in Cape May waiting for the ferry. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Hey, Liz, glad you're here. Yes, Lexington is wonderful. Oh, cool. Lydia, I don't think I ever saw your tessellated vest. Hey, Star, glad to see you. All right, I'm going to tell you all something that I did with this vest, just in the spirit of honesty and all, being transparent. So y'all could say, yep, you should have known better, or maybe you might learn a lesson. So one thing that I will sometimes do, out in the dye studio, I have a dehumidifier for the yarn. So fortunately, all the yarn gets dried in the dye studio, typically overnight. So, but sometimes I wanted to block my project right before the trip, and I literally finished it Wednesday and we were leaving Thursday. So I wanted it to hurry up and dry. So I went out in the dye studio and I blocked it and I pinned it out, because I knew I wanted it to be bigger. So I stretched it out and I stuck it outside in the backyard on my blocking mats underneath the full sun. Later on, after it had dried, and this isn't even the hottest time of year, but I guess that's the strength of the Florida sun. When I came back at the end of the day, I don't know what I was doing. I was messing around with it, and I just happened to like flip over, the back part, and I was looking at something and kind of where the creases were, and I noticed there was a distinct color difference on the front than the back. It was almost like, and I don't think you can tell it now, I rewashed it and then laid it out in the dye studio overnight underneath the fan and right by the dehumidifier. And it dried, of course. I was just afraid I'd forget to pack it, was why I laid it out in the sun to dry faster so I could go ahead and get it packed. But anyway, I don't think you can see it now. But when I first did it, it was almost like, and it was like the color had gotten darker, almost like a burnished yellow. And you wouldn't have noticed it like, flipping the front and then the back, but I had laid the back over the front and I was like, there was a distinct difference. Anyway, I won't do that again. So lesson learned. So, and we, obviously we know that the sun can fade things over time, but it was just weird. I don't know if it was some sort of reaction. I even smelled it because there's been a little kitty cat been running around, and I was like, I don't know, did somebody like pee on my shirt? Like what? Like what happened to my shirt? But no, I guess the sun just did something to it. But anyway, so no more of that. Yes, the sun can be brutal for sure. Yeah, and it was weird, Laura, you've noticed a bit of fading in the sun because it definitely wasn't faded. It made it darker really, but I didn't like the color. I mean, that's the whole point of this neon moon and sparklers is that it's like neon in your face. And yeah, it had like taken on this burnished sheen. And I was like, well, so no more of that. And like I said, your yarn does not get dried outside, but so no more of that for me. Okay, the other FO that I got in the mail just before I left, Laura knit up these Meyers socks, which I had seen a while ago and was like, I need to knit these, but I just didn't get a chance to get them done. And so Laura knit them up in Sparklers is the main colorway. And then Color Riot back here is the accent color. So, yeah, and they're awesome. And it just so happens that they fit me as well. It's like she made my size and everything. Anyway, so these will be out on display at the festival this weekend. Yeah, and she also sent me, which is packed with my samples and already labeled, she also sent me her Rock It Tea DK version that she knit in Fluffy DK in Swan Song. I don't know if y'all remember seeing that. She had posted it in the group. So that will be hanging up as a sample this week too. Samples really make all the difference in the world. So these are the Meyers socks. I don't have the pattern with me to remember the designer's name, but they are on Ravelry and I will put them in the show notes. So, are you going to do show notes? Are we doing show notes tomorrow? No, you'll have to wait.
No, we can't.
We can't? Okay. Oh, no, because we'll be busy from early on.
Oh, that's right.
Setting up. So, yeah. So it might be Sunday morning before the show notes show up. But anyway, so it's easily found on Ravelry. So anyway, yeah. Yes, Valera, you must knit these. I thought they were awesome. They look a little bit gory. I mean, you can make them in like any, non-bright color that you want if you want a more pastel-y version. But to me, it was like, I mean, it looks like it's oozing something. It just needed to be bright colors, right? So anyway, yeah, they are awesome. Oh, Laura, the color was still cooking. I don't know. I don't know what happened to this thing out in the sun. It was just weird. Hey, Susan. A break for me to watch you live. I love it. I'm so glad that you came on for that. Perfect for a vampire collection. I know this will be perfect for, well, I'll probably, once they're no longer samples, I'll wear them all over all year long. But there'll be samples for a while. So anyway, good stuff. Yeah. Okay. I may have missed some comments. Okay. Thank you, Laura. Julia Bittorf. That's right. Yes, she does make a good point. If you look at there are some serious there's some serious spread in there. And as I learned when I did the Odenenboom socks, where the color work just goes round and round and round, boy, you got to really watch how loose you make that color work, or I ended up making those socks. They were made for bow, but because my color work was too tight, the strands of the contrast color, they wouldn't fit around Bo's ankles. And so now they're my socks. I didn't do that on purpose at all. No. No, really, I didn't. But I did learn from that I really got to watch that. So, all right. I have, as you know, it is the summer top stitch along. So I have lots of cool projects to show you all. So let's get started on showing you. Some of these are, well, the very first one that I'm going to show you is not even a summer top. This was knit by Tracy, and she, we couldn't figure out the speckled colorway, but I'm looking at it now and I'm wondering is it possible that it was raspberry lemonade and the colors just were a little off in the picture from what raspberry lemonade looks like. But I don't know. She didn't have her labels with her, but Happy Hour is the color of the bunnies. And I think, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that Tracy may have made the chart for those bunnies, because I know she knits socks continually. And I want to say there are other socks that she's done where she's doing some Disney socks right now with the bunny ears, the magic ears. And I think she made the chart for those socks. So I'm thinking she needs to like write them up in a pattern because they're just adorable. All right, so moving on to the summer tops. This was, and I love it when y'all post multiple pictures in a week, because it's like I get to see the progress. So y'all can see this was Karen's first picture last weekend, I think. And then already by the end of this week, she's made it to the body. So that's Karen's progress so far. And then Mary Ellen posted, this was her initial picture last weekend. Working in vintage. Oh, Karen's, by the way, was Stargazer. That's her colorway. And then Mary Ellen is using vintage. And then by just a couple days ago, she's already made that much progress. And Anne, not to be outdone, using peach tea. There she was. She had just gotten past the yoke. Thank goodness, right? And ta-da! Now she's just flying along on the body. And Everdina, speaking of wicked fast knitters, Everdina, this is literally like, I don't know, 2 days worth of knitting for her, because I know she just finished another top she was knitting, which came out gorgeous. And she's doing this Fiorellino on Purple Leaf Plum. Still my favorite color. Yes, indeed. And it looks gorgeous. She'll probably be done tomorrow. I'm saying. Cheryl, she bought this yarn in Georgia at the Georgia Mountain Needle Arts Festival. And she bought a couple skeins of Bright on Sparkly Sock, and she's knitting the Fiorellino for her granddaughter. I just love that so much. It's going to be so sparkly. And Luann posted, she has started hers, and she is using heliotrope, which is beautiful. I would not have even that colorway didn't even come up when I was thinking of colors for the Fiorellino, but it's a perfect color for the pattern for sure. And, oh, well, not to be outdone, Sabrina has finished. She's done. Her Fiorellino is complete, and she just needed to weave in the ends and give it a bath. And so, because she was done, well, why not just get started on the extra light bright? I zoomed in on it so that y'all could see. She's using one of the fade sets that I had put together for y'all. Obviously, the one with sprinkles and stargazer and then confetti and all that. I cannot wait to see this worked up. She is just flying. Yeah, I have to tell y'all, when I was setting up, we do the monthly fiber challenges. And when I was setting this one, I was like, I don't know, should I make it like 6 weeks? The fiber challenges have always been like a month long, but I don't know. Do we need 6 weeks? Obviously not. I mean, we could have done 2 weeks at this point. Y'all are awesome. I love seeing those. And it is not too late to join in. You do not have to knit the Fiorellino. You don't even have to knit. You can crochet a top. You can knit a different top, and you can use any yarn you want. The official thread is in the Swan City Stitchers Facebook group, and you can find it because it's pinned to the top and it has the rules there that you've got until through the rest of the month. Just don't forget, if you post anywhere else on social media, do a hashtag SCS May challenge. And here's something, well, no, that part shouldn't, well, I don't know. So something has come up, I've realized. So I do these day after giveaways for festivals, and we do trunk shows and stuff. And I noticed that some people are saying they tag me and then I don't see the post. Well, someone messaged me after this last festival, and she said, I did a post. Her and her roommate had come to the festival, and they had each bought yarn. She said, we each did a post, but our profiles are private, so you can't see it. And I was like, oh, duh, Carolyn, that makes sense. So I don't know. I'm thinking if you do a hashtag and you have a private profile, if I'm not following you, I may not see it. So that's something to take in consideration. One way to get around that is to just do your post in the Swan City Stitchers. Obviously, it helps me out if you post it in other Facebook groups. But if you post it in other Facebook groups, obviously I can see it there. Anyway, I digress. So let's see. They do all look amazing, don't they, Everdina? Yes. And I know, Yvette, those bunnies are the cutest. Yes, y'all are doing an amazing job. So I will show you where I am at. So I spent most of the weekend. Let's see, what did I do last week? Well, I worked Saturday, and then I did knit on Sunday, and I worked on finishing this up. So I did not make quite as much progress as I would have liked on my Fiorellino, but I'm getting there. I am. This is where I'm at. I got an end in over there peeking out. Hello. But anyway, if you can see, so I'm working through, now that I've finally loosened up my stitches, it's going much better. I'm not thinking curse words and all that. I'm currently on a Fiorellino row, as you can see those little cool stitches coming out. So I'm very excited about that. And I've been counting my stitches at certain points to make sure I don't get to the end and be like, what happened? Where am I off? Because that is something that happens to me. And then I have to waste time going back and finding it and fixing it and all that. So I've been trying to be very diligent about that. And of course, my colorway is Leprechaun, that nice bright green. So that's it. Next, so I'm going to be working on, I brought that with me this weekend that I'll be working on. And also I did bring my Stay Toasty scarf, which I'm not going to show you because I really didn't make any progress. I think I knit 1 or 2 rows on it, but I will be making some full steam ahead progress now that this project is done, that I just had to get on the needles. So let's see. Let me look at my agenda. Okay. Shop update. You should have seen in your newsletter. There's not a lot. I've been busy dyeing up colorways for the samples that I have. So I will say this, if there's a colorway that I've done recently and it was out of stock, check the website because it might be in stock, especially, anything like Purple Leaf Plum and what else? Fluffy DK is fully stocked again. Well, I say fully stocked with colorways that I did. I even put some vintage on Fluffy DK and Out of the Mist, which is interesting. It if you look at the picture, it has some different tonal. That alpaca just takes up the color differently. So that came out pretty cool. What else? The Color Riot collection is fully stocked on the bases where I dyed those colors. So, and there is a one-of-a-kind colorway, which I would have shown you, but since we have not set up at the festival yet, it is packed away. And that is a colorway called Blackbird Fly. For some reason, when I saw it, the final whatever reveal of the colorway, after I was done putting it back in the dye pots, for some reason that song by the Beatles came to me. So that's what I named it. But it came about because I think I said this last week, I had dyed up some Go Big or Go Home, and I was like, that's not the right blue. And because it was right up next to some other skeins that I had dyed. So, and I realized, okay, it's this particular pot. I apparently got my measurements wrong on the dye powders. So I stuck it back in the pots and speckled it with some bright fluorescent purple and then some black. And so that's where that colorway came from. So it's definitely a one-of-a-kind because I have no idea what I did wrong. So, but that's in there. I think that's about it. So shipping is on hold until a week from today. So, and then the online shop will be closed tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday because we will be at the festival. So if you order something, obviously, any orders, I'll pull tomorrow before the festival opens, and then those will ship next Friday. And any pre-orders, if you've pre-ordered something, those are all shipping on time, even though we're not heading straight home. We will on Monday morning, we're going to drive up to Ohio. I have a brother that lives literally like 4.5 hours from here. So it's like, I gotta go see my brother. So we'll go there and hang out for like 3 days and then drive home. And since Bo is with us, I won't have to drive that whole way by myself. We can split it up. And Bo, when he's with us, honestly, he drives most of the way. I'm very spoiled. I've gotten so spoiled. I told Morgan, I feel like I've lost some of my independence because he spoiled me so much. And so it was a little weird driving up yesterday without him. So so we will enjoy a couple days in Ohio next week, but I will be back next Friday. I'm not sure what shape I'll be in. I should be rested and relaxed, right? I'm getting a couple days off. So all should be good. So so I will, I'll be back next Friday. And then if you haven't seen, I've told you all, I'm not going to go through the whole spiel today, but this summer I have a couple of local events and trunk shows and classes. I think there is still one spot left of my botanical scarf dyeing at She Sells Yarn. And then we do have some spots open for the sock blank dyeing at Knit and Stitch. That class, that's at the end of July. But there, if you go to my website and scroll down at the bottom, you see where I am, all the events, and there are links for the classes and all that good stuff. There's even a class working with hand-dyed yarns. I've talked about it and talked about it and talked about it, but there is a description there that you can find if you need it. So I think that's it. As always, if you have stuck around this long and you've not subscribed, I invite you to do so. It helps me out. It helps you out. And I recently saw someone I watch on YouTube said something about leaving a comment for the algorithm. So all of you that are here today, done a great job leaving comments. If you watch later, I invite you to leave a comment because apparently it helps the algorithm. It helps me. And it doesn't help the algorithm. Somehow it works in the algorithm. The algorithm uses it. I don't even know what I'm saying, how to say it. But anyway, it helps me out. So leave me a comment. I think you do have to have an account, a YouTube account, but it's free. It's easy. And they don't even like email you a lot of stuff. So it's good. Thank you, Liz. I plan to have a good time and I hope it is a festival. This festival has been running for 15 years. This is the 15th year. So I think they must know what they're doing. And a couple people have messaged and said that they plan on being there. So I'm very excited to see some swans and to have a good time and a good trip. We always, this morning after breakfast, we made our usual trip to the grocery store as we do. And Morgan was with us. So we explained to her, this is what we do. And this is why it takes so long. And we walk around the store and there are certain things we've learned that we like to take with us to the festival to have for lunch. And then also, certain snacks. And, but then we also look, because a lot of these grocery stores in different areas carry this brands that are Carolyn friendly. But they'll have different flavors or, if it's a cookie or something, there's a brand of cookies that I cannot even think of the name of it. But when we were in Georgia, I was bragging about the Ingles because they had, I get these refrigerated cookies that I love. And, but they actually had some pre-made cookies in on the cookie aisle. And I was like, I didn't even know this company made this stuff. And so we'll find different flavors. And so we just walk through the store and, see what all they have. So we visited a Kroger this morning. So very exciting. Anyway, I know you needed to know that. So, hey, y'all have a great weekend. If you can't be good, then at least be good at it and get your knitting or crocheting and whatever else done. And I will see you next week. And if you need me, I'm just an email away, Carolyn@Swan City Yarns. All right, everybody, take care of yourselves. By the way, I was on Instagram today, but I do not have my iPad set up, so I could not see comments on Instagram. So I apologize if you are on Instagram and were commenting and I did not reply. My apologies. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend.